People, and welcome back to another video on the Bridge YouTube channel. And today we've got a Bridge special which is going to be coming out weekly. This is going to be the first episode and it's going to be called Up Watch. This is where we're going to be talking about on every Saturday, if our rival teams in the top 4, top 6 play, we're going to be discussing them, the results they get, and I'm just going to be giving my general, as neutral as I can be, discussion on these football teams. So today we're going to be discussing both Tottenham, Arsenal and Manchester United, because those are the three teams that played. Man City and Liverpool play tomorrow, so you probably might get a video there too as well. So literally these episodes are going to be called Up Watch, you know what I'm saying, opposition watch, you know what I'm saying. So hopefully it's a nice new feature that I've to the channel that I'm trying to add. Also like can bring in more guys for you guys to see and sort of get my viewpoints on these other teams. So you know what, let's start with like the main one, which is really Arsenal versus Fulham, 2-2. Obviously, the first goal, which was scored by Fulham, which was quite early in the game. I think it was in roughly around about the first 60 seconds, all right? Which Pereira gets the ball, and then I'm not sure what like Ramsdale was doing. Like he almost gets his footing wrong because I think Ramsdale was thinking that he's going to chip it and go to the far side of like the goal, which is on the right hand side. But Pereira does like, I don't even know if Pereira meant to be doing that little finish shot to the other side too. But knowing him, he might have actually meant it. But Andreas Pereira obviously gets that in 1-0 Fulham. But again, sometimes, especially when you're going to the Emirates, you're going to these big sides, especially for a mid to lower table team like Fulham, scoring early can sometimes be to a disadvantage. We'll discuss that as well, in my opinion, when we get to United, Nottingham Forest as well. But scoring too early sometimes, can have its problems because you're like, oh yes, we scored too early. We scored early now. Now we can just, shut up shot and literally just, continue to hold that play. And to be fair, they have Paulinho, they have all these other guys in there. And I think for the majority of that first half, they did a good job, kind of like holding Arsenal to, limited chances. They defended really well. I want to give a big shout out to Paulinho, man. Paulinho was doing a big bits there in the midfield. I think this is like his first game back from his shoulder injury that he had in preseason as well. So big ups to Paulinho. Honestly, I'm not meant to say this as a Chelsea fan, but like I'm not sure why Paulinho is not being looked at by Liverpool. Honestly, for me, I would have gone after him, but I think probably it's to do with the price. But going back to Paulinho, very good game from him. I thought like what's it called? Fulham were very good, at protecting themselves. I thought the goalkeeper did a good job too in that first half. Then obviously going into the second half, Tete, man, I don't know what Tete was doing there. Lapse in concentration. He has to do better there, man. He has to do better there, in my opinion, than giving that penalty. In my opinion, like, stupid penalty, in my opinion, too. That's the thing. I think that's what makes it worse as well. Like, I don't know why he did that for me, but at the end of the day, Tete does that. Saka is able to put the ball in the back of the net to score. I think that's his second goal, if I'm not mistaken, now in the league. And from there, you then obviously get that chance. Then from the same side as well, from that Tete side, obviously the ball comes in, cross, and Nketiah scores to make it 2-1. And honestly, that was a pretty good goal, I'd say. Very good pass into Nketiah, who's onside. Shouts out to Nketiah, man. He got his goal, but again, for me, and I don't know if Nketiah is like the one that you want to be a main striker. I think Gabriel Jesus, once he comes back, I think he can do a job for them, to be honest. He's the one that I would probably be waiting for. But Nketiah as a backup option, he's alright, I would say, in my opinion. So we move from there. It was 2-1, and then Calvin Bassey was just, I don't know, he just had the stupid mistake, in my opinion, to get a red card. Like, you already knew he was on the yellow. There was he had his other defender there who was literally behind him. Diop, if I'm not mistaken, was behind him, literally just behind him. He was protecting that side of the field, but I don't understand why he decided to then. Obviously, the ball goes out of his legs. Saka's about to get the ball, but Diop's already behind him there. Then he just pushes him over, gets a second yellow, and gets sent off. And now he's missing a game for his team. Like, for me, that was just very stupid by Diop, in my opinion. So I did not understand why he did that. But going on after Diop, obviously Diop, then after that you then get Fulham equalising from the corner from Paulinho. Honestly, man, Paulinho for me, man, the match performance from him, bro. He was doing very good work defensively in that midfield, helping, protecting that defence, in my opinion. But getting that, goal, obviously, I think Fulham deserved that, man, with the way they were defending resiliently and everything. And, at the end of the day, you look at Arsenal. I know many people talk about Kai Havertz. I'm not understanding this Kai Havertz 8 role. I've said this before to Arsenal fans. He did not work. Like, Lampard tried him in the 8 against Wolves, and that we literally saw, yeah, how that worked out in my opinion. So that I don't understand what Arteta is doing. That maybe for him, he's just like he's trying to like force it. Maybe he sees something in Havertz to make it work. But for me, when Fabio Vieira came on, he was a lot more. He was producing a lot more from that side compared to Havertz. So honestly, for me, he's not working right now with Havertz. Like I think if Arteta's serious, puts him on the bench, fingers out. Maybe he needs more time in training to get that. Maybe that thingy right. That might be it, literally, for me. So I literally do not understand why he's playing the 8. But that's the Arsenal Fulham game. Obviously, Arsenal lose 2 precious points at the end of the day. I know they believe they can compete for the title with everything they brought, and that's the pressure they're under. But listen, it's games like these, and I've spoken about this a lot as well. At home, it seems that Arsenal, they just can't rise it. Like they're not at home. There's just something there where compared to when they're away, they seem a lot more sharper, a lot more precise. But at home, there's just something there for me. Like I don't know what's going on at the home ground. Is it the pressure that the fans add to them or something like that? But at home, man, they're not as strong in my opinion. And we saw that last season, and we're starting to see that again this season. So it's up to Arteta to see if he can get that, if he can sort that out. Now let's move on to the Manchester United game. And honestly, man, they had a horrendous start of the game. Much like Arsenal, they had 2 goals in literally 4 minutes. The first goal, obviously, I think it was like there was 2. Obviously, it was like both Rashford and I believe it was Anthony chasing after Awoni because like obviously it was a corner kick came in. The ball goes over. Awoni's able to get it. Is able to outrun both Anthony and Rashford who are trying to come back. And to be fair to Rashford, he does actually come back, but he does not able to make a tackle. To be honest, he's a left winger, so I wouldn't expect him to there. But Onana, I'm not sure what's going on with him. I know that Inter Milan fans say he has like a few bozo moments. That was like a bozo moment. I don't know what happened to him. Was that like a loss of equilibrium, like a loss of like something like that? He just literally just sat down and when he just literally passed the ball into the net, quite literally, it was like crazy for me. It was like raw, like that felt too easy. And like that's the thing with me. While he's very good at passing the ball, I think he's a very good keeper. He worries me in terms of those bozo moments. I've spoken about that previously when Chelsea were even looking at him. And then second goal, the United defense was just literally a seat, and like Wilfred Bolly just literally was not even expecting it. He just hit his head, just went into the net as well. But like the United defense, literally, quite literally, I don't know what they were doing there. Then afterwards, after those 2 goals, United came back attacking very much. Bruno, I think, was doing Bruno. I'm not really a big fan of Bruno personally. Like other than his creativity, I don't think he does the other stuff quite well. Excuse me, but like moving from the other stuff that he's able to do, though, however, I think he does to a good extent. So like creativity wise, he was doing a good job there. Rashford obviously created the first goal, which was able to be put in by Eriksen. Then he obviously had that free kick that they did, which was like Bruno to Rashford. Rashford waited for Bruno to get into the box. Bruno then over the ball into over to Bruno. Bruno heads it. Casemiro taps it in for 2-2, and then stupid again by the. Then obviously they had like stupid red card. I'm not even, for me it's a soft red card, but it is what it is. He was the last man. After that, like Bruno was gonna go in, but I wouldn't be surprised if that gets overturned. To be honest, in my opinion, you then obviously have what I would like to call, the soft penalties, I like to call them, because like I understand why it's a penalty, and I would agree to it. It's a penalty, but it's like one of those what I like to call soft penalties, where like the defender for some reason decides to like Rashford's moving past him, he puts like a slight leg there. Rashford like fuels it essentially and just goes over, and like it's stupid about the Bournemouth defender at the end of the day, and then Bruno's able to put the ball in the back of the net to make it 3-2. But honestly, for me, if you're a United fan, you gotta be worried about that midfield and defense, man. I go back to again, like it's very worrying what's going on through there. They're very passive. They aren't able to hold on to the ball for quite long. It's almost like this transition team that works on the counter and everything. Like that's how United will work. And if you're a United side, I don't think that's what you want, in my opinion, at the end of the day. Maybe it's just me, but if you aren't able to hold the ball as much, it's not looking good, bruv. You know what I'm saying? And like the thing is, like teams are able to go on the attack against them and do it quite well too. So it's a worry, man. You're facing Arsenal, I should say, next week. So big fixture. You got to do something, man. You must do something there. So that's pretty much the other fixture. And then finally, let's go and talk about. Let's talk quickly about Brighton at West Ham. Brighton can hold up 3-1, Listen, De Zerbi, man, against low block teams at home, he's not able to crack the nut, is he? You know what I'm saying? Everton, Now West Ham, there's another team that if I'm forgetting to, that's what I'm gonna say. Brighton, you can hold that, fam. Hold that. And finally, let's talk about Tottenham Bournemouth. I think it was a very good Tottenham performance. You know, I feel like they're playing much better attacking football compared to what's it called under Conte, Conteliban, as some people like to call him too. But honestly, they're actually playing a lot more better football. I like Sarr, man. Sarr's really been shining under Postecoglou, in my opinion. Madison got his first goal. Shout outs to him. I didn't really watch the Tottenham game that much, but from what I saw from the highlights, Sarr in particular, bro, he looks like a gem. Anyway, I saw from him from the Tottenham United game, he looks like good, and it seems that I think he's back to his best too. Bissouma, so shout outs to them, man. Obviously, Richarlison's not doing that great. If I'm them, man, I know that I've been hearing they've been going in for Gift Orban. Get that done, man. Get Gift Orban done, because for me, he would be actually very good for him. And Udoji, quality signing, man. Udoji's a quality signing too. But that's the video, guys. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe as always. And as always, please make sure to say blue.